Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. National Assembly calls for stronger action against Boko Haram as members resume after recess. President Goodluck Jonathan appeals to NUT leaders to order colleagues back to the classrooms. 12 Nigerian Army soldiers convicted for mutiny. They are to face firing squad. And conflicting death toll in synagogue church collapse as South African President Jacob Zuma puts figure of dead nationals at 67. Just to remind you now that all our top stories are on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. And do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. And we urge you to interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS and Windows 8 platforms. If you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and then follow the instructions. The President has appealed to the leadership of the Nigerian Union of Teachers and other labor unions to allow schools in Nigeria reopen on September the 22nd. President Goodluck Jonathan explained to State House correspondents that closing public institutions because of a case that's been dealt with will not speak well of the country's image. Our State House correspondent W.H.O reports.
The President has to do this because of the urgency of the matter. Out there, the controversy has been raging over whether or not schools should reopen on September 22nd following the outbreak of Ebola. But President Jonathan said the case has been properly managed and the disease contained. He thanked all Nigerians and state governors for the effort to contain the outbreak.
Nobody in Nigeria has Ebola now. All the people that had the symptoms of Ebola have recovered. We lost, out of the 19, we lost 7. And the others have recovered. I must use this opportunity to thank all Nigerians in terms of managing the Ebola virus. This is one thing that the whole country came together, worked together. There were no issues of politics, there were no issues of religion, there was no issues of ethnicity. And that's why we've been able to contain the Ebola.
On the closure of public institutions, this is what the President has to say.
As long as we Nigerians close all our public institutions because of Ebola, the dispatches that go to the whole world is that Ebola is a problem in Nigeria. And as long as we are declared Ebola is a problem in Nigeria, any Nigerian that travel out will be treated as somebody with Ebola. We've been able to manage the Ebola. The whole world is happy with us. And we must tell the world that we have managed Ebola and no Nigerian should be segregated because of Ebola. Ebola is no longer a threat to Nigeria. And we must tell the world that we have been able to contain Ebola. Yes, Ebola is in the West Coast. It could go to Ghana, it could happen in Ghana, it could happen in Senegal, it could happen in any of the West African countries or even beyond. But they have not closed down their institutions. If we still have the Ebola case, definitely we will not open the institutions.
The President makes this appeal.
Plead with NUT and other labor unions that this does not require industrial action. They should commend government. They work with us. All of them are Nigerians. All Nigerians work together to make sure that we manage the Ebola. Why do we want to create problems?
The President says his administration is open to discuss such sensitive matters with anyone, and that a threat to industrial action over issues that can amicably be resolved will not do the country any good. W.H.O, Channels Television News.
Well, before this appeal, the Nigerian Union of Teachers had asked its members to stay away from school until the government provides the necessary equipment for schools across the country. Our correspondent, Yomi Otaigbe, brings us an update on this and other reports on Ebola prevention measures.
Despite the federal government's insistence that all primary and secondary schools in Nigeria, that is the public and private schools, must resume activities by September 22nd, the Nigerian Union of Teachers, NUT, have directed all its members to stay at home until the government provides the necessary equipment to protect both the teachers and the students across the country against the Ebola virus.
Briefing journalists in Abuja, the national president of the NUT, Mr. Michael Olukoya, said that none of its members will teach until it has been medically proven that the country is Ebola virus free.
How many of them are having potable water? Visit any school in this country, be it in the north, in the south, in the west. And people are just making political statements. Oh, with with the situation of things right now, oh, the school can resume because you have put every gadget in place. Teachers are ready to school to return back to school, but the necessary template will have been provided. Anything short of that, the school shall remain under lock and key.
Here in Lagos, the teachers do have the support of this group, which goes by the name Women Arise. Largely a coming together of human rights activists, movie actors and some members of the public, the group's reasons for this rally, a mixture of Ebola awareness information, and their thoughts are boldly written on placards. The bottom line is, the people here want the federal government to shift the school resumption date in the interest of public health and safety.
All the schools are not car parks where cars are parked at owner's risk. People are there to drop off their children in ensuring that their children are safe. It's going to be likened to a biological weapon. By the time any single child, a child is a nation, has symptoms of Ebola that has not been detected, and the child goes to school, let government exercise more patience.
But in South Nigeria, it would appear that the teachers are ready to resume school activities. This large crowd at the Civic Center, Port Harcourt, is made up of teachers from government and private schools in Rivers State. They are here for a one-day Ebola prevention enlightenment program ahead of the September 22nd resumption date, organized by the State Ministry of Education. Some of the teachers who spoke to Channels Television expressed optimism that the program is of immense benefit to them as they get ready to welcome students back to school.
I've gotten more information than what I had before I came here, which will help me when we resume to handle and inform the students I'm taking more about Ebola and how to live a healthy life.
Meanwhile, the federal government has signed a $1 million grant with the African Development Bank to contain the spread of the Ebola virus disease. The Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, said the grant will be channeled into screening, counseling and purchase of equipment to reduce the spread of the EVD. And in Akwa Ibom State, Governor Godswill Akpabio has directed security agencies to ensure strict enforcement of the existing restriction order on movement of corpses in the state as part of measures to keep Akwa Ibom State free from the deadly Ebola virus disease. The governor gave the directive when he received the new commissioner of police in the state, Mr. Gabriel Achong, who paid him a visit at the government house, Uyu.
The governor also urged members of the public to continue to observe basic health hygiene in order to keep the state safe from the Ebola virus and other diseases. Yomi Otaigbe reporting for Channels Television News.
When the news at 10 returns, the federal government distributes monthly allocation to states and local governments. That'll be on Business News. Do join us again.